Welcome to this week's edition of Ask WWN. This is episode number 14 in our podcast series, Ask WWN. I am your host, Michael Justin Burgess. And to begin, our first question is, if the WWE app voting is legit, how do they script the matches? Well, from the situations I have heard, voting has been legitimate. And when WWE holds app polls, they have an idea who is going to win it, and thus plan for that winner. There are sometimes surprises, and in that situation, the match will have to be called in the ring, which is something you can't expect to see more of. However, performers are still told a general plan and obviously an outcome before they go to the ring. We have more details and different spots being called in the ring at worldwrestlingnews.com if you would like to catch all of those. Our next question is, was CM Punk really banged up after the table spot on Raw? Was it planned or was it botched? Well, CM Punk's head was busted open from the botched table spot from Ryback on this week's Monday Night Raw. Ryback messed the spot up, but it was what was said afterwards that sparked controversy. And let's go ahead and just take a moment here and let's read. I'm going to tell you some of those controversies. It was chaos afterwards. Ryback took major heat. And I guess there was a big fight backstage over it. And Triple H actually was so upset that he told Ryback to come into his office. And then we do not know what happened behind those closed doors, but we know he got a big talking to. Ryback got in big trouble for that. Because CM Punk was, 1, busted open. 2, it was botched. And number 3, Ryback and Curtis Axel, that didn't look good out there. It didn't. It wasn't what was planned. It wasn't what was scheduled to go on. It was all screwed up. And that's why it got a lot of controversy backstage. Our next question, what's the latest update on Sheamus? Well, Sheamus is still out recovering from his torn labrum, and that required surgery last month. He went home to Dublin earlier this month and is expected to be back sometime early in 2014. And really the latest update we have is that he is scheduled to be at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Alright. Our next question is, do you find the lack of main event talent in WWE disappointing? Can you count them on one hand? Well, the WWE roster is very thin right now. There's no doubt about that. And that is why the WWE is keeping Rob Van Dam on all the way through October now. It's the reason why we are seeing sort of this new corporation. John Cena's out. That's gonna make it even thinner. And, the fact that we had so many baby faces in the main event this past week on Raw, it was ridiculous and it made zero sense, and it was actually compared to something WCW would have done in its latter days. And Vince McMahon especially is upset right now with the roster. He's upset with all of the storylines and where they're going. He's just upset about just everything that has been going down because so many superstars have been injured. It's not even funny. It's just crazy. It is. Well, what are the plans for Cody and Goldust? Well, I heard that they were going to be in a match, possibly a 6-man match, 3-on-3 versus The Shield with your father Dusty, but that hasn't been announced yet. Well, we thank you for tuning in to this live broadcast of Ask WWN. I am Michael Burgess.